We're back with TSPN. We have Dianne Queirolo-Bennett.
Thank you.
Hi, Dianne. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I aced it.
Yes, you did.
All
You
right.
did.
And it's kind of a joke, the Queirolo.
Yeah.
Learn
Yeah.
how to say that name. How long did it take you when you grew up?
I don't remember. I just always grew up saying it. So.
All right. We're talking about the Amador County Fair today, Country Tunes and Midway Blooms.
Yes.
And the fair is right around the corner.
It really is, and people need to be thinking about it, especially entry-wise. One of the things that has happened is in the last few years, as entry fees have gone up, which they still really aren't bad, the exhibits have gone down. But one of the places that were really hard hit is also in the kids division. So I keep trying to remind people, as they've gotten those packets back at the end of the year with their kids' poetry or their drawings or whatever they did in class, it doesn't take much. Go enter it in the fair. It's a great way to showcase their kids' talents, and it's a great way to also help support the fair.
Now, what do you do at the fair?
I am in charge of what used to be called the Home Arts Department. It's now the Creative Arts Department.
Okay.
We changed the name a couple years ago because a lot of gentlemen were getting turned off by the name, because the Creative Arts Department also includes all the leather craft, all the woodcraft, metalwork, all sorts of stuff. It's not just the home arts. It's and in the home arts portion, we also have the quilting, the sewing, the apparels, ag hort, which is all your vegetables and fruit products.
I used to sell vegetables.
Well,
fun.
and that came really down because of the way that the water is and the way that our seasons have been, which are really hard for growing.
Let's talk about some of the things you have here
Okay.
before we get into the book. But what can people do?
Well, there's one of the divisions I'm not in charge of is the fine arts, but what I did is I went ahead and I brought a photo here, which shows some of the fine arts. It's actually an entry I did last year.
Where is that, in Jackson?
Actually, this is in Texas.
Oh.
I got to go and see some of the missions there when my son was graduating from the Air Force.
Okay.
And I just happened to enter that in the architecture and the professional division last year, and I got a second on it. So it's all about the ribbons, people. We all like those ribbons.
Now, if I made something, is this cheating? If I made something when I was a kid, in shop class, could I enter that, or is that like too far gone?
That's usually too far gone. If we don't have a lot of entries, we have accepted some stuff that's older because we don't always know when it was made. But if you happen to have put like the date on the bottom,
but I made
some of the judges will look at that.
I made a semi-truck in shop class, and it is cool. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Okay, how about,
So, and then we have the
that must be jelly, because it's showing
jams and jellies, yes. These haven't been entered yet. I may or may not enter them because since it's the division I'm in, I'm not usually allowed to.
Okay.
However, the young lady that I made it with, I'm hoping I can talk Julia into entering because she's teaching me canning after all of these years.
Okay.
So, and this is a blackberry peach that we came up with out of our own idea, and her husband and mine will attest to it being
Okay, and
fabulous.
earrings up there?
Yep. And so a lot of people will make jewelry. So I've got
You get that
those.
one, I'll get this one.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So there's jewelry.
You'll never see
You can do almost anything. There's a portion in there where you can do like the scrapbooking.
Mm-hmm.
There's for collections. I mean, it's not just sewing, it's arts and crafts. There's pottery. We just added this year, one of our divisions that seemed like it was too encompassing and just thrown together was the gourd division. So we went back and we took the State Fair gourd book and looked at it, and we made more divisions for the gourds this year.
Sounds like someplace that Austin should enter, the gourd division. Okay, let's talk about the premium book that is out now.
Yes, it
And
is.
how do people enter? It's not too late. When is the deadline?
The deadline for most of them is July 6th. If you have something that is in the horse show or junior livestock, wine entries, beer, feature exhibits, garden exhibits, or floriculture, some of that is different. Floriculture goes all the way out to July 17th. So, but for almost all other departments, for the kids and the adult divisions, it's July 6th. You can enter online, or you can go down to the fair office and fill out the form and pay your entry fees.
And adult and junior livestock and Well, that's June 26th, and Horse Show is June 26th. So the dates are different. What you need to do is get a premium book right now, or call the fairgrounds at
245
245
6921. Yes.
Yep,
So,
456-921. Talk to Sherry or any of the beautiful, lovely staff there, including yourself. And
I'm not down there until almost fair time, so.
so if like even little kids have done some artwork and they want to enter that, they can.
Oh yeah, and there's a whole special comps division for the kids also. And what we mean by special comps is each year at fair, because we go off of the theme, and so we try to make some things that go straight to the theme. So this year, I was talking with Marcia, which a lot of people know Marcia Beechers as Crazy Grandma. She's usually walking around in red, white, and blue, but I've known Marcia for years. She was one of my original CPR and first aid leaders, and she has continued throughout the county to certify a lot of children and teach them basic first aid and CPR, which is fantastic.
When they fill out the paperwork, do they have to bring their artwork or things then?
No, that's a different date. Usually it's the Saturday before fair starts. We can go over that in a minute. But for some of the junior special comps this year, it's going to be decorate or make a flower or musical note and beans, and then decorate a shoe or boot, decorate a hat or cap, and then the one that the Montessori preschool sponsors is fluttering a tune colored in blooms. So they'll make a butterfly using dried flower petals.
That's what I was just going to suggest to my granddaughter, who graduated from Montessori this year from preschool, but she made some paper mache things.
Oh yeah,
And my
enter
wife,
those.
when we went to her graduation, my wife looked at it and said, "That's the prettiest one," and she didn't even know she made it. So
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking if she still has it around, that might be a good thing to enter.
Oh yeah, because then the kids also walk in and they're like, "That's mine." And like I remember years ago, the entries for the place settings where kids would set up the whole place setting and they'd set up what the meal was and everything. Used to be huge tables and tables. Now they have two little cabinets. So we really need to increase those again because it's taking pride in our fair and getting people, because what kid doesn't want to go show their parents or grandparents what they made?
When
And
I
it's the
was a
same
kid,
thing.
I won with a plate of carrots. They weren't the biggest carrots, but they were the most uniform. When I entered them, though, a lady looked at them and said, "What are you going to do with those?"
Eat them.
And I looked at her carrot plate. They were not uniform. So you know what? I won.
Well, and see, the ag hort judges will look at that. I know for both the adult
We're
and
coming up on a
kids.
hard break, so I'm going to let you finish at the end. But give us the phone numbers again for entries.
Okay, 245-6921 is the fair office, and so that's who you need to call. Also, you can start getting your derby tickets, rodeo tickets, and tickets to the truck and tractor pulls.
And the carnival, too, I guess.
Yes, and the carnival pre-sale tickets.
All right. We got to
So-
go to a break, so we'll
Okay.
be right back, and we'll talk to you afterwards. But we're going to a break. We'll be right back with TSPN.